Hello everyone and welcome to a new video I've decided to call 10 of my most least favorite bands, hated bands, bands that I dislike, whatever you want to call it. Please note, this is not an attack on you or anyone. If you enjoy all these bands, please do not take it personally. I am not here to shit on your favorite band. If I wanted to do that, I wouldn't make this video. So, here we go. So the first band that I have on here is 6 Feet Under, death metal pioneer, made by the pioneer of death metal, Chris Barnes, who was previous for Cannibal Corpse fame, especially on the first 4 Cannibal Corpse albums. And why are they number 1 on this list? Well, simple, because it is the worst death metal I've ever heard. Like, this band, even at their best, they're mediocre, and I mean, the Graveyard Classic stuff, the stuff that I've heard, it's just so terrible, and, first off, I applaud you if you enjoy Barnes' voice, but the weed has just caught up to him. It's just, his voice is just destroyed, and all he does is the E shit, with like all he does with his voice is E notes. It feels like you'd have to be delusional to even still find enjoyment with this band at all. It's just not good, and I'm sorry to say this. Like, people will defend like the one album, Haunted or whatever, and people will say, "Oh, Haunted's fine." Nobody says it's the most amazing 6 Feet Under album ever, and, Nightmares of the Decomposed, which is an absolute dumpster fire, and I've heard that some of the lyricism is just terrible. It's just, why would I listen to this when I could listen to better bands that do it better, like Morbid Angel, or even Death, the actual band Death, but it's just... Yeah, 6 Feet Under, just not a great band in general for any of this music. The most mediocre death metal people will probably ever hear in their lives, and I just wish that it was over. So, that's 6 Feet Under. Just, number 1. Number 2, Falling in Reverse. Now, first off, just, oh my god. Now, look, listen. I don't expect any rock star in the world to be a role model, but Ronnie Radke is just so cringe of a frontman. He's like, what, in his 40s? And he's being a whiny bitch. Like, I've seen videos of him saying, like, "Oh, my dad's in a motorcycle gang, they're gonna come beat you up, like, I'm gonna tell my dad on you," and like, all the stuff he says about free speech when he copy strikes people for using his music in videos and all that stuff. And you think the fans would, like, when that happened, you think the fans would, like, wake up and be a little self-aware that, hey, wait a minute, this is against everything that you want with free speech and all this. No, they continue to support him. Just, no. This is like I didn't think a worst band would be fathomable, but I can't stand Falling in Reverse. Fuck this band and fuck everything to do with Ronnie Radke. If he sees this video, go ahead and find me, because I will call the police and you will go back to jail. Fuck this band. Next up, Motionless in White. Listen. I know people that listen to Motionless in White, and, it's cool if you don't enjoy Motionless in White. If you enjoy this band, more power to you. If you think this is the best band ever, that's awesome. Buy their albums, continue to support them. It's nothing personal with this band. I just think they're really, really kind of silly and all this stuff, and especially with the Motionless in White fan base, because they're like an army when it comes to this band. I've not had any experiences with like how like big of an army this band is, but I will say, for me, this band's been kind of really hit and miss. I mean, one song I listened to was okay. I did try to do it, but I thought, nah, you know what? I don't really care all this much about this band that much. If you love them, great, but don't get mad if I don't hate this band. It's more of a dislike. Motionless in White, it's kind of a acquired taste, as with all these bands. I've heard worse music. We'll be getting into that later. And yes, I understand there's been cringier bands out there that wear masks and makeup, like Slipknot and Gwar and who else? I'm sure I'm missing a lot of bands. Mudvayne is definitely one of them. No, they still wear makeup. But I just much rather prefer that over Motionless in White, because it's kind of a little cringy. That and they're not on this list, but Ice Nine Kills, because they share a fan base, basically. Down to, I did like Ice Nine Kills at one point, but it kind of fell off. So, anyway, yeah, Motionless in White, they're not terrible, they're not the worst, but I just don't find them appealing to my taste, if that makes sense. Next up, and oh boy, Five Finger Death Punch. Me and this band kind of have a love-hate relationship. I enjoy Ashes from Way of the Fist and The Bleeding. Those are like two of the songs I enjoyed. Their cover of Bad Company is like, they're better of the covers, but it's just, the band has gotten stale and it's only getting worse. It's like heavy metal divorced dad butt rock is what it ultimately comes down to. Like, I know like two of my friends are like love Five Finger Death Punch. I personally enjoy Motograder, which was Ivan Moody's band before this band, because he was much better in that band. Of course, things, the way it unfolded, I don't really know what happened, but they broke up under unusual circumstances, and he created this, and I don't know. 5FTP, they're kind of just, they're not for me. It's more or less just for, the dudes that represent the tough-ass, redneck, wife-beater 40-year-olds who drink Miller Lite, and teenage Kyles that just drink Monster and punches walls when they get pissed off. But, this band's been kind of going down for a while now, and, all that shit, racism and homophobia, and just all of that stuff, and it's just not great. The music is just watered down Pantera. That's what it is. I'm sorry to say this, and, if you enjoy any of these bands, please, by all means, explain why you enjoy these bands, and be self-aware when a band is pretty cringy, because there are good examples of bands that I enjoy the shit out of, but I know it's terrible as fuck. So, anyway, but the Five Finger Death Punch, as with all these bands, it's just not my taste of metal. It's just really, it's just so bad these days. Like, that new album, F8 or Fate or whatever you want to call it, like, there were some diehard fans that, said that they loved this band, but F8 kind of sucked. So, the criticisms, and, oh god, don't even get me started on Jeremy Spencer and they're not on this list, but the band that he made after that, just no. That's my rant on Death Punch. I'm moving forward. Next up is, I'm cheating a little bit with this one, because they're not even metal. They're pop punk. Blink-182. I just do not find Blink-182 appealing at all. I think they're whiny and just, I do not enjoy Tom DeLonge's voice. Travis Barker is an amazing drummer. I think he's a little overqualified to be in this band, and seeing them making a resurgence, I didn't hate them, but there's much better pop punk bands in general that I could listen to, like My Chemical Romance, that I find appealing, and I know people are going to say, oh, no, My Chemical Romance is the same thing. My Chemical Romance actually made songs that were emotional. They actually made songs that meant something, so shut up, but it's just, I don't enjoy this band at all, and I understand, those of you that enjoy this band, please, more power to you. I just don't understand how you could sit through it. I hate All the Small Things, and I hate Where Are You? I hate those songs. I hear All the Small Things at work all the time, and I'm just like, there are better punk songs. Yeah, just no. I would much rather listen to My Chemical Romance and Green Day, which I think this band in general is Diet Green Day for me. I would much rather listen to American Idiot a million times over than All the Small Things. Overrated as shit, in my opinion. That's just me. If you... every band that you listen to is an acquired taste, especially when you know nothing about the band, and then when you actually listen to it, you're like, okay, this kind of fucking sucks. And I turn the radio off. Anyway, yeah, that's it. And this is number 5, I think, it's number 5. Number 6 is a band similar, but they're straight out of Canada, Simple Plan. The only song I enjoy is the Scooby-Doo theme song from 2003. That's it. It's the same excuse for Blink-182. I just do not enjoy this band at fucking all. Oh, God, they're just grown men in their 40s just whining about how they want to go to sleep and never wake up, and you can't tell me what to do, and all this stuff's like, bro, you're fucking 40 years old. Shut up. Like, just a band... This is a good example of a band that's just overrated, and, I could be a hyperbolic idiot. Either way, I'm probably a goddamn idiot, but it's just, God, I just do not like any of their studio music. It's just terrible for me, and I hate this band. I hate them with a passion. Like, Untitled, that song, how could... Been to me, I made my mistakes. Yeah, you made a mistake a long time ago, Pierre. I'm sorry. Like, dude, just no. Now, this band, what is this, number 7? Trapped. A big part of the new metal scene in the 2000s, and I'm going to be honest with you, yes, when I was a sophomore in high school, I listened to that whole debut album of Trapped, the self-titled debut, and then I started to realize how shit they were. Especially the singer Chris T. Brown, who has just sabotaged his whole band in general. Trapped have been banned from big stadium venues, and they can't even find a local bar and grill to play anymore. Trapped, Brown got their Twitter or X account, whatever you want to call it now, I don't give a shit, banned forever, saying on the news that, I don't know what he was saying, like perverted jokes and all this shit. It was really uncomfortable. He's just not a great person, and the music is just so... There's much better new metal bands out there, like Sevendust, or Coal Chamber, or Deftones, Snot even though, yes, they only had one album, but Snot is just as much of a new metal band as they are an alternative band. Trapped, like, if you are an unironic Trapped fan, nobody defends them, nobody comes to their rescue. So it's like, if you're a big fan, are you still here? Are Trapped fans still out there? But there's just, and then I just have not paid that much attention to anything they've done after that debut. I didn't even bother because that was the only one I enjoyed. And then I just said, okay, no, just, thank God I grew out of that phase. I was like 17 years old when I was listening to that whole album. So yeah, Trapped, number 7. They're the 7th band on this list. Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of how many bands I got. Next up, switching it up again, going to the hair metal scene, Bon Jovi, New Jersey natives. I do not like Bon Jovi. It's the case with most of these bands. There's better hair metal bands out there that you could listen to, like Def Leppard or Motley Crue, even, or Cinderella and Rat, and it's just Motley Crue, especially like the first 5 albums, yes. But Bon Jovi, I think they're the most. They're not even like really hair metal. They're like sugary rock hair metal, and my mother grew up listening to them against her will by my aunt, and she hates that band for that reason. And I hate the band just because I guess I take after my mother. Because, I just do not find anything about this band appealing at all. In my opinion, they are the most overrated hair metal band out there. And the stuff that they've done after, it's just, no, I just find them. And the fact that they fucked over John Bon Jovi, fucked over Sebastian Bach, by the way, Skid Row, the best Skid Row, one of the better bands of the 80s and 90s. So, yeah, just fuck Bon Jovi. I hate Bon Jovi so much. Now, this one, I was going to save till last, but this is number 9, and this is Kid Rock. I absolutely despise everything about Kid Rock. He is absolute fucking the human equivalent to Ebola. He is the worst person you could ever hang out with. And the motherfucker, is just like, fake news, the liberals, media sucks, you're all, the gays and all this stuff. Is like, dude, you grew up rich on a farm in Detroit, Michigan. Shut the fuck up and stop lying about where you came from. You did not grow up in a poor white trash trailer park. That's the one thing. He lied to have to get to his success. He's not honest at all. And I'm talking about the far, far right. I'm not talking about the guy who voted Republican once. I'm talking about how, people are being taken for a ride by Kid Rock, and he's just, no. Everything he does, it's just so stupid and terrible. I just do not enjoy him at all. The man is just full of himself, and I think somebody needs to sit him down. Oh, excuse me, I burped. And put him to fucking sleep, because fuck Kid Rock and all of his stupid ass fucking music. That's my rant. I'm done. Fuck. Basically give big middle finger to him. Now, the 10th and final band on this list, and again, this is one that I used to like in middle school, and then I dropped out. Poison. Now, this is the case of, are Poison like the worst hair metal band out there? No. They're not the best, let me tell you. I don't know what, 16-year-old me was thinking when he actually liked Poison. I think they're really, really fucking silly. And, why listen to Poison when you could literally listen to Motley Crue? There's way better bands out there. And it's, oh God, what do I even say about this band? I think they're just mediocre. Like, Every Rose Has Its Thorn is like the worst love song ever written, and I just find most of their stuff just like not, just so bad and so cringe, and it's just so. Bret Michaels, love him or hate him, yeah, I mean, talented guys, but it's just. They're just really bloated of a hair band you could ever listen to. And it was just not. Again, it was a phase that I grew out of, and if you like Poison, more power to you, but I feel like it's because people love Poison because they were from that scene and they haven't grown out of it, and people probably forgot about this band. Like, they haven't done shit for a long time, and probably for good reason, but, just not. Yes, there are worse bands than Poison, but Poison is one of the worst consistent bands I can think of from the hair metal genre. And you could probably say maybe they pioneered the beginnings of hair metal, in the day, but then again, it's Poison. This is a band everybody loves to make fun of. Well, next to Winger, of course, but they're not on this list. I don't really like Winger that much either. But, CC DeVille, probably, I mean, he's fine as a guitar player, but there are much better bands that do a better job at shredding in hair metal, like Dokken, for example, which I enjoy that band a lot more than this band. Twisted Sister, I know they were kind of like a butt of the joke for a while, but I mean, they're just a great hair band. People are like, oh, they're not even hair metal. Meh. In the beginning, yes, they were. Yeah, they were in the 70s. People forget. They're old as fuck band. This band, I just. No. They're just not for me. So, yeah, that's my list. It started with 6 Feet Under, and we ended with Poison. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you all later.